Bolstered by his success in reclaiming Antioch, Georgios now sets his sight on reclaiming the Holy Land of Jerusalem. With the Abbasid Empire severely weakened and Georgios' legend almost finished, he plans to reassert the holy mission. However, while the Abbasids control much of the land needed for Georgios to restore Theodosian borders, he is soon to come to blows with an adversary he has been avoiding. The Holy Roman Empire also holds lands in North Africa that Georgios will need in order to complete phase 1 of his plan. And we are back. So I want to address a few comments quickly before we dive in. The first one was that the color of the Byzantine Empire previously was more of a bright pink that was too bright for some people, so I've darkened it a bit to a more royal purple, which I think is fitting. We also had some comments about border gore, which is correct. I still need to consolidate this Hafsid island over here as well as Cyprus. We're going to do that today, so no problem there. The first thing we are going to want to do today is deal with the rebels that are going to fire any moment in the newly conquered Syria. Make sure we put those down. It's something we're going to deal with quite a bit as we expand. I want to try and convert these new counties pretty aggressively. I don't want to hit a scenario whereby we are perfectly ready from a military standpoint to keep expanding outwards but have to slow down because we're dealing with rebels and internal issues all the time. So trying to keep this stable as we progress is going to be a major goal. The second thing on our to-do list is to complete our legend, the spiritual triumph of Orthodoxy. I'm going to let this get to 300 baronies, increase the quality so that's at its highest level, and then complete it. This will give us access to some very nice decisions. The first one is, like I mentioned previously, the ability to do another holy war against the Abbasid Empire after 5 years when our truce is up for Jerusalem. It also gives us the ability to evangelize the realm. Now, typically, I like to delay using that decision as long as possible, try and pick up as much land as we need that's of a different religion. Then when we evangelize the realm, we can convert a lot of it very quickly, which will help a ton when it comes to not slowing down our expansion efforts. Now, while holding court, we have two different approaches on how to handle some of the newly conquered land. Timotheos here would like to hand out some local alms. This would give a weakened religious community, increasing the faith conversion speed, as well as almoners for the plus popular opinion, but it would cost 300 gold, which we don't currently have. Vigfus here, however, would like to just start dealing out some executions. This will give us weaker religious community, but it does instead decrease our popular opinion, but does increase control. I think we actually will start making an example of some disbelievers. I knew this would happen. We now have Captain Barspec of the Blade of St. George, who wants to blackmail us because he found out that we are a witch. So we haven't actually done anything with being a witch yet. We can, if we start to convert more members of our family to witches, found a witch coven, which is quite nice. The witch coven gives us some fertility and disease resistance, as well as some hostile scheme phase bonuses. The problem though is that having the trait witch is a crime, which I feel like is just going to mess us up tremendously if people find that out and we're trying to get somebody into a position of power, or, you know, I can't see us being able to have people vote for a known witch to become the next emperor or something. For now, I'm going to accept. He's going to get the blackmail hook on us. God knows how he'll use it, but let's see. And then maybe we'll go for founding a witch coven. I just don't know if it's worth it though. Do let me know in the comments if you think we should pursue this or not. Now, we have the ability to evangelize the pagans again. This time we're going to be evangelizing the Serbians. May God guide you. Not a huge amount of land really, but there are some titles around here that I would like as vassals that they're just the wrong religion at the moment. So converting them would be quite nice. Now let's deal with this border gore over here. 20,000 men versus 876. I'm not sure if we'll pull it off, but let's give it a go. Oh, this eunuch is bothering me so much. I might even just kill this man, to be honest. This is just too much to handle. I have to take another mental break in order to not just increase his power. So Hogni here of Orangian is accusing a woman in our court of being a witch. We're not exactly fully embracing being a witch ourselves, but we likely wouldn't just also imprison other people for being witches either. So I don't think we'll go along with him and just imprison her. We could try and convince everyone to think it true, or we could just tell him to stop. She'll gain some opinion of us, he won't like it, and we'll grow closer to forming a rivalry with him. But to be honest, I'm happy to say cease your baseless accusations and just dismiss him from court. If he doesn't like us, he can just leave. Okay, here we go, here we go. The Ashari faction is firing. Let's rally the troops. Now, there is actually quite a few of them, around 13,000. We can see them all here. I don't think they'll have great quality. We just need to be careful if they all group up together. So let's just deal with this war. We just need to finish this siege, and then we'll head straight over. Okay, there we go. That's the Border Gore War finished. Oh, amazing. I didn't even know this counted towards actually getting a theme back under Roman control. This is fantastic. So the actual theme gets Mediterranean Gem restored, which is quite nice. Building, construction, cost, and development. We also gain that buff for stewardship, monthly income, and courtly vassal tax contribution. Absolutely, that's fantastic. A glorious day for all Romans. Unfortunately, Duke Vladimir of the Serbians was most unresponsive to the word of God and sent me away empty-handed. Don't worry about it, it's only a temporary setback. Okay, I'm almost finished gathering the men here north of Syria. We'll need to put down these rebels as soon as possible. My goal is to try and fight them while they're isolated, not give them a chance to group up. So I'm going to start down here with this group and then move over here towards where the leader is. Hopefully these groups over here can't make it over in time. Yeah, I mean 6,000 versus 4,000, but they have no knights, only some men-at-arms. This is not going to be a problem at all. Let's head over here and deal with the rest of them. We now finally have all the innovations inside of Tribal. I think next I will go for manorialism. Less so for the building construction time, but definitely for the early medieval era economic buildings, and it'll also enable us inside of our estate, if I can actually just scroll down to it here, we can upgrade our manor to level 3 when we have manorialism as well, which will be very, very nice. There we go, that is the uprising dealt with. Locals pacified, plus 50 popular opinion, and we have the leader in jail. And of course, the leader will be executed, as is tradition. Now, our legend has spread to enough baronies to be completed. We just need some more gold in order to increase the quality once more and then complete it. It is very expensive to keep promoting it right now, but we're going to save up, finish this, then we can start to stockpile gold, and then that, along with when manorialism finishes, means we will have lots of upgrades to do. Now, our first son, Justinian, has grown up to become an intricate web weaver, which actually suits. That's exactly what his namesake was. He is calm, ambitious, cynical, charming, born in the purple, and homely. They grow up so fast. To be honest though, I am still quite young. I don't know if our firstborn son will actually be who we want in charge of the realm. That'll be a decision for when we are quite a bit older. The existence of murder Basilius Georgios scheme is exposed. Thank you very much for exposing it. If we find who's responsible, they will not be treated very nicely. And we have a new child, Clement Angelos here, another son. Quite like this, to be honest. I actually think of all my sons, Clement is most likely to end up on the actual throne. Seeing as though he's born quite a bit later in my life, I feel like he'll be a much more acceptable age by the time Georgios' time is up. So I'm going to put him into diplomacy for now, and I will also educate him if I have the slots. Yes, I do. Now I'm going to marry Justinian here, my eldest son, off to another daughter of the Tsardom of Russia here. This alliance isn't doing a huge amount for us, but to be honest, I would just rather marry some of my sons off to people outside of the realm, as opposed to into another powerful family. I just don't really want to give any of the other families more power or more claims on the throne itself. And also at long last, we can finally dismiss this eunuch. It's a shame. He's very good at a lot of different things and was really good in certain court positions. Like, I would happily love to have a eunuch around doing stuff, but almost every time there was a pop-up, I wanted to take the one that was going to cause me issues, and even a really powerful eunuch just annoys all of the vassals. Maybe there's a way to make this work and I'm just missing it, but for now, he's getting dismissed. Interestingly, I have the decision to expand duchy, so I can actually expand the theme of Thrace to include Adrianopolis here. Now, it doesn't actually change a huge amount because we already hold both of these lands anyway, but I suppose there's no harm in having the original duchy, like the base duchy of the empire, be a bit bigger. I'm going to work off some stress as well. I always forget to do this in times of relative peace, and instead I just end up getting mental breaks all the time. Let's actually try and deal with it progressively. Okay, another learning perk. I'm going to take restraint, then know thyself, and then probably going to rotate into stewardship after that because we're going to have lots of things to build up. Aha! The Holy Order we founded is looking for another city, and they are willing to pay for it. Data over here in Beirut makes sense, nice and close where we're going to need them very, very soon. We'll get 750 gold from this as well, which is amazing. Now we can use this gold to increase the quality of our legend, and now that it is mythical quality and spread in 300 baronies, we can complete it. Here is the end of the book of Basilius Georgios and of his miracles, that they were famous among all Orthodox. Ah, Almighty God, may I pray for your blessings upon this book, the spiritual triumph of Orthodoxy. So we gain diplomacy per level of devotion, as well as some monthly piety. Anybody who promoted it also gets similar bonuses, and in every barony it's spread to, we get control growth and popular opinion. So be it. I'm going to reassert the holy mission straight away. Even if we don't use it straight away, we can only do it with this character, so better to do it than possibly forget about it. I will clear ground for a legendary shrine as well in one of the baronies that we hold, absolutely. And I won't evangelize the realm just yet. I was having a look though, and the Abbasid Empire is gone. It is now the Arabian Empire, held by this man with 764 troops and fighting in a ton of different wars. We need some more piety anyway to do our holy war. It's kind of a shame. Like, of course I want Jerusalem, but it's not that much land, especially when you consider we could take Kingdom of Arabia and get all of this. We are solving more problems than we need to by taking all of this. We'd have to control all of this land. It's not in theodosian borders, and it doesn't get us closer to restoring Rome either. We do have some other legends that we could start, like Keeper of the Orthodox Holy Site is very similar to what we just did and would give us access to similar decisions. Roman heritage is obviously amazing, giving us a claim on every title inside of the Roman Empire. I'm just a bit afraid of using that too early. If we use it now and it's like, here's all your claims in Italy, we're not going to use them. So I'm going to try instead and find different ways to restore Theodosian borders. Once we get everything that's inside Theodosian borders, then I might use that legend to help make it easier to expand into what we need in Europe. Now that our income is a lot healthier, because we're not promoting a legend anymore, I am going to start using a lot of my gold to start upgrading some buildings, and if I can as well, build some holdings in some empty slots. We have another dynasty legacy. We can take Eternal City, more development growth, more popular opinion, and we get Cabinet of Curiosities. Domicile building, upgrades dependent on contributed artifacts, slightly increased quality of sponsored inspirations. House Head can add artifacts to the cabinet, and learning per level of influence +1 and some more influence. Thank you very much. We're now also just one off the final one, which is going to be very, very nice. So this wasn't even anything I've done, but it looks like one of my vassals has finished reconquering Edessa as well for us, which is very, very nice. We now also gain long contested province restored, making our army gold maintenance cheaper, less stress gain and more martial, bunch more influence and prestige as well. Another glorious day for all Romans. So it's actually this title here which exists inside of this theme, but the man who conquered it is actually the man who currently holds the theme of Cilicia here. I probably will create the Duchy of Edessa here and hand it off, because I don't really like the way this man is coming up on holding two themes himself. Look at the cheek of this guy wanting to help me shoulder the burdens as co-emperor. I think not, my friend. In terms of restoring Theodosian borders, we are making good progress towards our south. Our first goal is to take everything we need from the Arabian Empire. The two problem areas, though, is this bit of land here that the Russian Empire currently holds. It looks like one of my vassals might actually be at war for it right now. We'll check on that in a second. And the second piece is this part of Northern Africa that the Holy Roman Empire still holds. So that'll be interesting. Amazingly, Bernard is still alive. He's now 67 and in poor health, known murderer and infirm. When he dies, hopefully that all starts to break apart as well. Sure enough, my vassals are going to war. They are trying to take one of these counties off of Russia. I'm not sure if they'll be successful, but they're giving it a go. Ooh, Tsar Fedor of Russia has changed his court language. Now speaks East Slavic instead of Greek like me. We've empowered Russia a lot with our alliances and even helped them out a bit. They are quite big now and even border us. Maybe later on, though, they'll end up becoming an enemy. At this point, I'm just grateful that the Arabian Empire isn't also a conqueror. If that was the case, then we would just be literally surrounded by conquerors. Aha, we found the man who was behind the murder scheme. It's our rival, Captain Abdullah. I'm pretty sure this is the guy who used to hold the Kingdom of Syria. He's still after us. I could try murder him back, but it's quite hard, and honestly I'm not sure if it's worth it. Another son! Daniel it is! Okay, let's educate you in stewardship, and then we can choose between you and your brother for who would make a better emperor later on. To be fair to my vassals, they've done a tremendous job at converting Syria here. This is all just through me giving them directives. We did have some decisions, like the weakened religious community thing that probably helped, but we're almost fully there. Okay, finally we can take Know Thyself in the learning tree. I'm definitely going to rotate into stewardship, focus on wealth here and building up the realm. Every 2 seconds here I'm finding out about my governors who are cheating on their wives. This is incredible. Okay, I'm gonna hold a triumph as well before it times out. It's gonna be cheaper right now because of the war we won in Syria. I believe last time I said I wanted to have 500 gold to like hand out alms and things. We probably just won't do that again though. We'll take whatever other bonuses we can. I shall consecrate my victory with God. 250 piety and triumph shared with the divine. Zealot vassal opinion, zealot vassal tax opinion, and some piety. Yes, please. And there we go, triumph concludes, another 100 influence. Okay, so it's not always the same interactions as in the triumphs, that's good to know. It is now time to take the rest of Cyprus as well and unify this, get the last of the border gore taken care of. There it is, let's enforce demands here. There we go, look at that, nice clean borders, things you love to see. I would like to clean this up a bit actually, if I can. I think this is even de jure mine, isn't it? Yeah, it is, let's just take this as well. Oh no, this is a problem. This is a problem. We now have a powerful family who wants to blackmail me. Ooh. This is what I mean. This is why I don't think being a witch is worth it. I don't think being a witch is worth it. We'll accept again. A lowly chandler has been stealing from my court. The man cowers before me, sniveling about hungry children and mercy in the name of Saint Joseph. Please, my lord, I'll do anything you ask. I could show him mercy and win his loyalty, but that'll give me a critical stress break because I'm vengeful. So I'm going to show him what true hunger feels like and kill him. Another adventure band now is also trying to blackmail me. Oh, for God's sake. Dalmatia has got the message after we started attacking over here. She will accept normal feudal obligations as well. Offer vassalage, thank you. I may have created more border gore by accident though. We are now literally inside the HRE. I didn't even realize it. Bernard died. It's his son now who's in control. Obviously also a conqueror, but let's see if he can hold it together. There we go. That's our war for this duchy also dealt with. We'll enforce demands. Thank you. Lastly, we just need Ragusa over here, so I may as well grab them while I'm over here. We'll raise up the men again, and then after this, it'll be over to the Arabian Empire. Now, the ugly and super old head of faith we previously had has also died. We have a new young man in charge who is brave and wrathful. Also a charioteer of the red team, apparently. But he's 36. He's going to be our new head of faith. I've actually seen him already start to excommunicate a ton of people. We can ask him for some influence. Not going to, though. We are saving the piety for our holy war. But we will probably do this once the holy war is over. There we go. Viable prisoner captured. We can enforce the demands here. That's Ragusa now under control. And things are starting to look a lot more solidified. I spent a lot of gold there just demanding some people to become admin so I can hand out the remainder of these themes. But we're doing a lot better in terms of actual gold here. We're now up to about plus 60 when our armies aren't raised, and for some of those wars I almost had my full army raised. I'm still in the positive, which should make future wars quite a bit more feasible. So the last thing I'm going to do before we go to war for Jerusalem is just actually host a chariot race in the capital. Realistically, I want to do this on cooldown. The bonuses are just incredible. Then we'll go to war for Jerusalem. I don't actually think we'll need as much of a war chest as we did previously, because to be honest, we can kind of sustain our army now with the amount of income that we're on. Just got notification that we're now involved in this war, where it looks like some counts over here were going for this count. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but we shouldn't have a problem dealing with them. Now for the speech here, we can actually boast of my righteous war, and we get mobs calling for victory. Monthly income while at war goes up, as well as levy size and reinforcements rate. That'll be super useful. Now, with the goal from the chariot race, I have commissioned a legendary artifact. We've got the spiritual triumph of Orthodoxy, +3 diplomacy, +3 learning, as well as some renown. Delightful. Now it's just time to deal with this weird war that we inherited, and we'll be straight over for Jerusalem. Oh, I think I see what happened. I think my vassal actually expanded out and won a county. That county was already at war, so that war I ended up inheriting. That makes sense. Okay, that's this war dealt with. Thank you very much. Let's disband all. Now, we are up to a new level of influence as well. We are now on authoritative, plus 15% initial political scheme success chance. We haven't actually needed to do many political schemes recently, but with this nice backlog of influence, eventually we'll want to start looking at who we actually want to inherit the throne. Because at the moment, I get notifications every 2 seconds as it continues to switch hands. It's my brother-in-law, and then it's my half-brother, and then it's my other half-brother. Anyway, Anyway, no more waiting. Time to have a go at the Arabian Empire here. They are actually quite weak. Holy War for Kingdom, Kingdom of Jerusalem. Let's make it happen. We've come across a real historical character here, Basil Lekapenos. He actually did serve in the late 10th and early 11th centuries multiple Byzantine emperors as Chamberlain. He will serve me as well. Obligation hooks reduce court salaries by 50%. Why not? Now, no hostile armies have even really showed up yet. There is one behind us that I'm sending back an army to deal with, but I think this is actually going to be remarkably easy. I think it's also time to start upgrading our army again too. I have everybody raised and we're still making 50 gold a month. You know what, actually? I think we're going to deal with this and get Jerusalem so quickly that we could possibly even go for another holy war, see if we could reassert the holy mission again, start another legend. I think it makes sense, we can afford it. There we go, the second kingdom has been attained, Jerusalem is now ours. Jerusalem reconquered, another glorious day for all Romans, and just like before, we get restored Pentarchy seat for the learning, piety, and same faith opinion. Now, we have also inherited a war here, but it's also kind of a joke of one, so I'll just send the men over to deal with this while I start dishing out these lands. Now, what I may actually do is give Jerusalem to my son, Jordan. Whether or not he becomes emperor is kind of besides the point. It'll further improve my family's holdings, and it'll also mean that the Dome of the Rock here, very nice special building, will also be within my family. I'm going to give another duchy to Justinian. He's outside the realm now and not up to much. We'll give him a little small theme down here as well. That has given us so much renown that we have another dynasty legacy, two in the same episode. We can finally take this one. Vassals and noble families less likely to join both claimant factions or use deposed schemes, and mass arrests. So what mass arrests is when someone's estate is located in the realm capital, we can order the arrest of everybody in their family. That is insane. We can already upgrade our legend to level 2. Let's do that, please. Just trying to deal with this weird war down here. I didn't think they had any troops nearby, so I stationed besiegers, and then a random adventurer band showed up and killed them, but we should outsiege them here and be able to deal with this. Now, the Holy Order wants to expand again. I am more than happy with that. You can take as many baronies as you want, especially when you're paying me 750 gold each time. There we go. That is the war we inherited dealt with. We can finally disband all of our troops, and we are good to go. We have grown again, getting closer and closer to restoring Theodosian borders. It's time for me to do more micro. I'm going to go through all the vassals, make sure that they have the right actual directives and they're in the right imperial stance. But other than that, I'm going to leave this episode here. A tremendously successful episode. We've gained tons of land. We got our main goal of Jerusalem. We are already on the way to get another reassert the holy mission to go for not one, not two, but 3 kingdom level wars against the Arabian Empire. Once we get Egypt, however, things are going to get interesting, because then we have to decide if we want to try and take on the HRE or try and dismantle our alliance with Russia to get the land we need off of them. But what matters most is we are going in the correct direction. Thank you all so much for watching as always. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.